King Charles's decision to extend an official royal invitation to Canada has erupted into something far more significant than a ceremonial act of diplomacy. It's a gesture layered with political subtext, emotional symbolism, and a diplomatic ripple that stretches far beyond Buckingham Palace and Parliament Hill, one that even seems to touch the edges of former President Donald Trump's shadowy influence on the modern world order. When the British sovereign speaks or acts, he rarely does so without careful intent, and this move is no exception. The timing, the destination, and the unspoken messages embedded within it all suggest that this is no ordinary overseas invitation. It is a signal, and the world is taking notice. To the unsuspecting public, this royal development might appear as a courteous reaffirmation of ties between the Crown and one of its most cherished Commonwealth realms. But behind the pomp and circumstance of royal engagements lies a chessboard of global relationships, alliances, and veiled warnings. Canada, historically loyal to the monarchy but fiercely independent in its democratic character, represents a beacon of modern constitutional balance. By calling attention to this relationship, King Charles not only reinforces the enduring strength of the Commonwealth but also draws a sharp contrast against populist leadership styles that have increasingly disrupted global norms. And perhaps no one better personifies that disruption than Donald J. Trump. Trump's name may never be directly uttered in the palace's briefing papers, but make no mistake, the invitation sends a crystal clear message. In an era dominated by political turbulence, misinformation, and challenges to democratic processes, King Charles's deliberate reach towards a symbol of calm, order, and constitutional continuity stands in stark relief. He is drawing a line in the sand, subtly yet firmly defining the kind of leadership he wishes to associate the Crown with, and the kind it seeks to distance itself from. To understand the full gravity of this invitation, one must explore the deep ties between the British monarchy and Canada. This relationship is not merely symbolic, it is constitutional, cultural, and deeply personal. Canada's recognition of the monarch as its head of state places it in a unique category within the international community. It is a sovereign nation that honors its history with a living legacy. When King Charles chooses to spotlight that bond, he revives conversations around loyalty, heritage, and unity in a world increasingly fragmented by nationalism and division. But King Charles is not merely reviving history, he is reshaping it. His reign, unlike that of his mother, Queen Elizabeth II, is unfolding during a time of unprecedented political polarization. As the world watches the U.S. navigate complex legal challenges involving Donald Trump and the potential return of populism to its highest office, Charles has opted to shine a light on Canada's steadier path. It is a diplomatic masterstroke. He is praising subtlety, order, and respect for governance by highlighting a nation that has, in recent decades, chosen collaboration over confrontation. This becomes even more poignant when juxtaposed with the former U.S. president's strained relationship with traditional institutions. Trump has publicly criticized NATO, questioned long-held alliances, and displayed open disdain for ceremonial diplomacy, particularly when it emanates from figures of inherited power. His past interactions with Queen Elizabeth II were a curious mixture of stiff protocol and awkward discomfort. As king, Charles now seems to be offering an elegant rejoinder, not in words, but in action. His outreach to Canada also underlines the monarchy's intention to remain relevant and influential in a world increasingly skeptical of inherited power. Charles is no passive monarch. With decades of public service, environmental advocacy, and cultural diplomacy under his belt, he has long envisioned a monarchy that does not merely survive, but actively engages with modernity. His Canadian visit, far from being routine, embodies that vision. It serves to reinforce the values of unity, tradition, and forward-thinking leadership at a time when global uncertainty demands clarity. And it's not just about Trump. The world is watching with bated breath as democratic institutions are tested from Warsaw to Washington. By highlighting Canada, Charles offers a model of resilience and cooperative leadership that many see as endangered in this current era. This invitation, then, is not just a royal favor, it is a diplomatic allegory. It reminds global citizens that history still matters, that institutions still hold weight, and that legacy can be a guidepost, not a chain. The symbolic weight of such gestures is often underestimated in political discourse, especially when measured against the spectacle of rallies, campaigns, and elections. Yet symbolism is the lifeblood of monarchy. It is through symbols, rituals, and public acts that monarchs exert soft power and influence the narrative of global leadership. Charles, with his decades of experience as Prince of Wales and now sovereign, understands this better than most. His choice to elevate Canada on the world stage is a message cloaked in royal robes, a whisper that roars across borders. Observers in the United Kingdom have also taken note. In a post-Brexit Britain grappling with its identity and global relevance, King Charles's actions offer a roadmap for how to wield influence without the trappings of political power. He's not delivering speeches at campaign podiums or engaging in heated debates, but his moves are just as calculated. Canada, a multicultural, bilingual, progressive nation, reflects the modern values that Charles has often championed. His visit is not just about royal protocol, it is a political compass pointing toward the future. The invitation has sparked waves of excitement among Canadian officials and citizens alike. Beyond the headlines, there is an emotional undercurrent. The monarchy remains a deeply personal institution for many Canadians, evoking memories of Queen Elizabeth II's numerous visits and the deep affection she inspired. Charles, who stood in her shadow for so long, now steps into his own spotlight, not to replicate her legacy but to redefine it. His approach is less stoic and more engaging, more aligned with today's social consciousness. In Canada, he finds a receptive audience for that evolution. Of course, the political implications extend beyond North America. Other Commonwealth nations will watch this visit closely, interpreting its nuances as signs of where the monarchy may stand in their own national conversations. Countries like Australia, New Zealand, and Jamaica have periodically debated the future of the monarchy in their governance. Charles's actions in Canada could sway public opinion elsewhere. By showing that the Crown can adapt, modernize, and play a constructive role in a democratic society, he bolsters the institution's credibility. Meanwhile, the silence from Trump's camp regarding the invitation has been deafening. For a man who rarely misses an opportunity to respond to perceived slights or subtle challenges, the lack of commentary suggests a recognition of the gesture's significance. The Trump era, marked by brash defiance of norms, stands in stark contrast to the thoughtful diplomacy of King Charles. And that contrast is precisely what makes the royal visit so powerful. It's a reminder that not all influence needs to shout to be heard. In drawing Canada closer, Charles also strengthens the transatlantic bridge. While political leaders often change with election cycles, monarchs endure across decades. They become threads of continuity in a world of change. In times of uncertainty, that continuity becomes invaluable. It reassures people that amidst the chaos, there are still constants, symbols, and institutions that can help stabilize the ship. The Crown, for all its ancient traditions, is proving remarkably nimble in navigating the modern world. As preparations for the visit continue, speculation mounts about the events, speeches, and interactions that will shape its narrative. Yet even before Charles steps foot on Canadian soil, the message has been sent. His invitation is a quiet but profound act of resistance. Resistance against the unraveling of alliances, against the corrosion of civility, and against the glorification of chaos over collaboration. It is a royal nudge toward wisdom in leadership, unity over division, and global interdependence over isolationism. And as the cameras flash and flags are raised during the formalities to come, the world will be watching not just for ceremony, but for meaning. Every handshake, every speech, every backdrop chosen for a photo op will be interpreted through the lens of global diplomacy. This is how modern monarchy speaks, not with decrees, but with deliberate symbolism and strategic visibility. King Charles is speaking now, and his voice, quiet as it may be, is echoing across the world. As the world digests this royal move, we're left to reflect on its deeper implications. What does this invitation truly mean for the future of diplomacy, the survival of the monarchy, and the global appetite for a return to order and dignity? King Charles has made his move. Now, the world must decide how to respond. Will we embrace the call for unity and steadiness that the Crown now represents, or will we continue down the path of divisive uncertainty that figures like Trump have come to embody? Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. Drop your thoughts in the comments, we love to hear from you. Turn on notifications so you never miss a royal update.